What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a video I wasn't actually going to do, but I thought, you know what, it's the opening day, we're all extremely excited, the football is back, the championship is back, sod it, we're going to do it anyway. Today we're going to be predicting each of the opening day results. Of course, this was something we tried to do last year alongside also recapping the championship every round, and that along with Project Boro and everything else became too much to do every week, especially when there was a 3-game week. But if we can, we will still try and predict as many rounds as the championship as we can, as well as recapping them, which I'll be doing after this weekend, so subscribe for that. And as I say, we also preview and review every single Boro game here on the channel, so subscribe for all that good stuff. So let's jump in to the opening 2 games on Friday night. So first up, we've got Preston and Sheffield United. This is a running theme throughout this video that, well, as it is the opening day, a lot of unknowns, but I think more so this year because Preston, we don't quite know what we're going to get from them. They had a really bad end to last season, but last year they also started like a house on fire, so flip of a coin with Preston, and you could say the same for Sheffield United. They've built a pretty good squad, and I think they've redeemed what looked to be a bit of a disaster only a few weeks ago, and they've really started to pull a decent squad together. However, I still don't think they'll be able to just flick what was essentially a losing habit in the Premier League and go to Deepdale, which is a tough place to go and win on opening night. Obviously, opening night, big crowd, exciting crowd. I think home teams have a little bit of an advantage this weekend. So, yeah, any other weekend, I'd maybe edge for Sheffield United, but I think Preston are in with a chance here. So I'm going to go right down the middle and say Preston 1, Sheffield United 1. On to the second Friday night game, Blackburn Derby. Once again, how do you predict this one? Blackburn are a side that off the field seem like a bit of a mess. Sammy Smodics is still there, so he could play a part in this game, although I don't know if he's played much of a part in their pre-season, if I'm honest. Derby coming back into the championship, they'll be desperate to get off to a good start, but I wouldn't say they've been all that convincing in pre-season themselves. Paul Warne still fiddling around with the system. Neither of these teams seem all that prepared. So, once again, I can't really split either side. I don't think either are going to be in for a fantastic season. So I'm going to go down the middle once again and repeat my previous prediction. Blackburn 1, Derby 1. On to Saturday, we have Hull against Bristol City. This is an intriguing game because both teams who were in and around the same area of the table. Hull were the better side last season, but I can't see that here. I feel like Hull have lost so many quality players. I think almost 90%, if not more, of the goals they scored last season have all left the club. It's ridiculous, and a lot of Hull's business, as we kind of expect, will be done, I'd say, later in the window, which means the first few weeks of the season could be a bit painful for them, if I'm honest. Whereas Bristol City seem a lot more prepared, an exciting young team, one a lot of people fancy to do well under Liam Manning this season and maybe be a dark horse for the playoffs. So for me, I think Hull are going to struggle, and I think the first few weeks, as I say, could be tough for them, and that's why I think Bristol City will capitalise. It's a good time to play Hull, albeit a cliche. I'm going to go with Hull 0, Bristol City 2. Down to Elland Road and Leeds. They welcome Portsmouth back into the Championship, and well, I don't envy Portsmouth's first game. I don't envy their first 6. To be honest with you, Portsmouth have been dealt a horrible hand with their return to the Championship, but what I will say is they're probably getting the hardest fixture of the lot done out the way early. I would love to come up with an argument here to suggest Portsmouth are going to do something special, but I just can't. Leeds, standout favourites for promotion for the title. They were unbeaten at Elland Road all the way through to the back end of last season, and although they have lost a few players, I think for me, as I say, home side, opening day, sellout crowd, big atmosphere, huge ask for Pompey. That's why I'm going with a convincing Leeds win. Leeds 3, Portsmouth 0. Boro Swansea, interesting one again. If you want to know more in-depth thoughts or my more in-depth prediction and thoughts ahead of the Boro Swansea game, then do head to my previous video that dropped early today, my Project Boro preview show of this. So I won't go into too much detail here, but basically for me, this is going to be 2 very possession-based sides having a bit of a tug of war, and I think Boro just have the quality to edge Swansea here. Interestingly, Swansea's record up here is awful. They've not won up at Boro since 2020. Boro have won 5 of their last 6 games against Swansea. But Boro haven't won on the opening day in 10 years, so there is a glimmer of hope there for Swansea, but I think Boro have a more settled squad, have that little bit more quality, which I think will make the difference. So I'm going to go with a narrow win here. Boro 1, Swansea 0. Millwall-Watford is another really intriguing game. I wouldn't want to go to Millwall on the opening day, and I don't have much faith in Watford in their current predicament either. They are falling massively in people's hopes and expectations. They're falling with the bookies too. It's safe to say they're getting a huge vote of no confidence from most neutrals at the moment. And of course they could prove everyone wrong, but Millwall last season, a bit like Boro, they had a fantastic end to last season. Under Neil Harris, I think they will regress slightly this year, but they'll get off to a good start here at the Den, and I do fear for Watford, I'll be absolutely honest. I'm going to go Millwall 2, Watford 1. To the Kazam, and Oxford making their return to the Championship in the second tier, hosting Norwich City, who, like a lot of clubs, a lot of new going on there. New manager, loss of some big players. Gabriel Sara has gone. Johnny Rowe maybe going. Be interesting to see if he plays here. Josh Sargent is still there, but I've just got a feeling, that Oxford will get something from this opening day. The other two newly promoted sides are on the road, so I think Oxford have a chance here with a big, excited crowd, you'd imagine, to get something off Norwich, but I don't think they'll win. I can see Oxford taking the lead and Norwich putting enough pressure on and just getting an equaliser late on in the game with their pressure and the quality. I think they'll get something in the end, but I do think Oxford will come away with a point here and they'll start off with something, and that's a 1-1 draw. I'm going to go Oxford 1, Norwich 1. QPR now, and they play West Brom, and they're a side coming into this season with a lot of optimism at QPR, of course, hoping to take another step forward under Marti Cifuentes, but they are going up against a very, very solid Carlos Corberán side in West Brom, who of course made the playoffs last season. Now, neither of these sides I would say I associate with goals. I would say they're both very defensive sides, and there is a few things going on at West Brom currently off the field, but that's never fazed Carlos Corberán before, and although I think over the long term of this season it may affect things off the pitch with West Brom, I still have enough faith that they'll get the job done on the opening day. It'll be tight. I think both sides, as I say, very good defensive teams. I cannot foresee a goal fest here. I think West Brom will edge it with a 1-0 win. So QPR 0, West Brom 1. Stoke Coventry now, and Stoke, flip a coin, who the hell knows what we're going to get out of Stoke. And Coventry's an interesting one because they've, a bit like Boro, started the last two seasons terribly and will be desperate to have a good start this season. And I can see it. I can see it happening, if I'm honest. I think Coventry have a very solid squad, carried over from last season. They've made some solid additions, and like a lot of other people, fancy Coventry this season to, get at least playoffs and be really, really competitive, but they need to get out the blocks quickly, and I think they will. And the Bet365 is a tough place to go, but I think Coventry will get the job done here. I'm going to go Stoke 1, Coventry 2. Cardiff, they host Sunderland, a new outfit under Reggie Lebris, and that's why I don't quite have Sunderland to get something here. I feel like Errol Bullitt, albeit there's a few scepticisms around Cardiff, you could say, going into this season. Will they regress? How far will they regress? I think it will take Reggie Lebris a bit of time to get a grip on this Sunderland side and get them playing his way. So I think getting something from Cardiff might be a bit too much of an ask on the opening day for Sunderland. That's why I'm going to go with a narrow Cardiff win. So I've gone with Cardiff 2, Sunderland 1. To Hillsborough now, another side with lots of optimism going into the season. You've got Sheffield Wednesday under Danny Rowell, fancied by a lot of people to take a really big step this season. And then you've got Plymouth, who are expected to maybe take a backwards one, as we just don't know what to expect from Wayne Rooney. I feel like despite his poor record, there's a lot of people still clinging on to the hope that maybe this will be finally the right club for him and he'll do a good job at Plymouth. And although I think he'll do a better job at Plymouth than he has everywhere else, I don't know if that will necessarily be enough. And again, I go back to my home team advantage on the opening day. I can just think Hillsborough will be bouncing, and just the renewed optimism around Sheffield Wednesday this season, the lack of worry that they'll be in a relegation fight, at least at this stage, will be gone. and I feel like they'll have a pretty good opening day here, and it will be tough for Plymouth, who, of course, as well as getting Wayne Rooney in, which always puts people off, their away form last season wasn't great, and that's something they need to work on. So I'm going to go with a win here for the Owls. I'm going to go Sheffield Wednesday 2, Plymouth 0. And finally, the Monday night game, the big one, the blockbuster, the two heavyweights clashing, Luton and Burnley. Now, I haven't predicted too many goals in most games, but I'm going to finish with a goal fest. And I think back to Boro's opening day trip to Luton all them years ago under Jonathan Woodgate when we drew 3-3. I just have a feeling with the quality on show, there's going to be goals in this game. But as I say, home advantage for Luton at the Kenny. And the fact that I think Rob Edwards is just a little bit more settled with his team. You know, a lot of players that he's brought down from the Premier League are still there. I feel like Luton can just pick up from where they left off relatively unscathed, really. Whereas Burnley, you know, Scott Parker's coming in. He's got a ginormous squad to pick from. And I do think it will take him a bit of time to get them both playing his way. Him to skim the squad down for starters and find his best 11. So although I think Burnley will be more than competitive here, I feel like Luton will edge it as they just seem a bit more prepped and settled and ready to go at this stage in the season. So I'm going to go with Luton 3, Burnley 2. So there you are, guys. There's my opening day predictions. Let me know yours in the comments section below. As I say, I'll try and predict as many rounds of the Championship as I can, but when there's Saturday, Wednesday games, it can be difficult to squeeze that into the old schedule. But I'm as excited as everyone else for the opening games of the season. Cannot wait to see the Championship back. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as well as hitting a like on the video. It really helps the video and the channel out, and subscribe for much more. And if you're a Boro or Swansea fan, or you're just interested in either club, as I say, I did do a more in-depth preview of Boro versus Swansea, which went out earlier today, so check that out if you haven't already, as well as all my other Championship content here on the channel. We've predicted the league table, we've looked at what the bookies think, AI, we've even looked at Opta and their Championship league table. We've covered the lot this summer. It's all there on the channel for you. But until next time, guys, enjoy the opening weekend of the Championship, and I'll see you all in the next one.